Welcome to English. This year we're going to have a lot of fun. But in order to have that fun, we need to set forth some expectations so that everybody knows exactly what I want from them this year. There are 5 big expectations that I have for every student in my class. And the first one is from our matrix to respond immediately to staff requests. This really means that I need students to move quickly, quietly, and efficiently. When I ask for transition time, it needs to be done in a manner that is quick, quiet, and efficient because we do have a lot of information to cover and I don't want anyone to fall behind. With that said, I listen to what my students' needs are, and if a student needs me to slow down for any reason, I ask that they please just let me know. They can do it by raising their hand, they can do it by motioning me over, they can do it by some other way that we have established that they're going to tell me that I'm going too fast. Because I get excited about the subject I teach, and sometimes I do start talking a little fast. The second expectation that I have is to follow staff member requests, which sounds like respond to requests immediately, but there is a slight difference. The immediacy of the first one is about doing something quickly. The follow-through for the second one is about being respectful to the teacher or to peers even about requests that are made. I really make 2 requests on a common day. One is for students to be an active listener. And when I ask students to be an active listener, what I mean is for students to sit upright, because we have found that when students sit upright, they're kind of activating their brain to learn. When they start slouching or they put their head down, it tells their body, hey, it's time to go to sleep. Now, the chairs that we have are not the most comfortable things in the world. So if a student needs to stand up for a little bit, they personally just need to get out of their chair because they've been there too long. Again, communication is the key in class. They just have to let me know. I'll let them stand by their desk. I'll let them maybe walk to a different part of the room. As long as it doesn't disrupt the rest of the class, I'm okay with it. The third expectation that I have is to make positive statements. Positive statements lead to positive thoughts. English is not easy. I know a lot of people say, I speak English. It's the easiest subject in the world. But it really is not. There's a lot of things that we're going to be doing in English that aren't necessarily geared toward speaking the language, but more about how to critically think about the language we're listening to and the language that we're reading. And so with that said, it is important for us to make positive statements. And I encourage students to use the word yet. I don't know it yet. I can't do it yet. Because there's always going to be that opportunity this year to learn. I will provide it, and students have the chance to take advantage of it. And so it's not that they don't know, it's that they don't know yet. The other part of the positive statements that goes along with an expectation is I expect all students to strive for success. And really what this means is I want students to ask themselves on a regular basis, what can I achieve when I try my best? When students push the boundaries of what they're capable of doing, they are expanding their minds and expanding the potential that they have within them. My expectation for every student is high, regardless of the expectations they have for themselves. But my expectation is not that every student get an A. In fact, when I talk about striving to succeed, I don't mean a grade at all. What I really mean is a student working to grow? If a student starts this year and writes a paper and gets a 30% on that paper, but then works really, really hard and does rewrite after rewrite and can get up to a 50%, grade-wise, they still get an E. But effort-wise, they've grown over 20%. If they keep going, who knows where they can go? And with that in mind, I allow for unlimited retakes and unlimited rewrites in all the papers and tests that we do in my class because I want students to be able to strive for success. I want them to be able to look at where they are, understand that they have potential to do and be anything that they want, and give them the opportunity to work towards that goal. The last part of my expectations for students is to keep hands and feet to self. And I use this as a broad idea of not only making sure that people are physically safe, but also the maturity level that I expect from all 7th graders. Now, I expect a lot when it comes to the maturity level, and I know that we're going to work on it. It's not something that we're going to walk in day one and say, this is how everything is going to be. We're going to work on it, and we're going to grow. Becoming an active listener is part of that. But also is self-control, being able to know when to stop. Another big idea that I push is the idea of responsible for your actions. I don't accept the fact that, oh yeah, I'm just 12 or 13, it's not a big deal. Every action has a consequence. And I would much rather students be thinking about the positive consequences that they can have from their positive actions. Of course, negative choices can have negative responsibility or negative consequences as well. And those aren't always being punished. A lot of times, those negative consequences come in the form of how your peers see you or the amount of education that you get out of a given hour. This is especially true for talking and goofing around in class. When we talk and goof around, we not only affect ourselves, but we affect everybody that can hear us. And so even if you're being very quiet and it doesn't seem like you're interrupting the teacher, you're interrupting the people around you, and that in itself is an irresponsible act because you're stealing someone else's education. These are the expectations I live by. There's other rules in the class that I have. I use a chart that's posted in the room that gives voice levels. A 0 being absolutely quiet, a 1 being a whisper, a 2 being only that your table can hear you, a 3 being a normal conversation, a 4 being a presentation voice, and a 5 being that outdoor voice. In class, any given day, I ask that we never go above a conversational tone. I don't like raising my voice, I try not to, and by staying in a conversational tone, it makes it so that I can always say what I need to say, when I need to say it, when I need to get the group back to focus on a single event. We are going to have a lot of fun, I think, this year in English, but English does take work. It is not a show up and sit and get type class. You have to actively participate. You have to actively participate in the reading that we do, in the writing that we do, and the conversations that we have. It's how we grow, especially the conversations. This is going to be a discussion-based class, which means that everybody will have the opportunity to share both in pairs, in groups, and as a whole. And so we're going to get used to forming a community of respectful, responsible, accepting, motivated, and safe students so that everybody can be successful in their goals. I look forward to a great year with you. Go Rams!